The time is precisely 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Chandima Virakon. Headlines. The Prime Minister informs members of the Election Commission to look into the possibility of conducting provincial council elections soon. Health authorities ask people to limit their travel during Christmas season to help control the spread of the virus. Jathika Janabala Vegaya emphasizes the need to create an environment where women and children can live with security. The Ministry of Education gathers information on the trainees who followed courses at National Colleges of Education. On foreign news, Germany braces for tougher lockdown before Christmas. In sports news, the 20th match of the Lanka Premier League, Colombo Kings vs Dambulla Vikings, will be played tonight in Hambantota. Local stories in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has informed members of the Election Commission to look into legal aspects of conducting provincial council elections soon. The Prime Minister informed them to do so when they called over on him this morning at his official residence of Vijayarama Mawatha in Colombo. The Prime Minister has informed them to look into the possibility of conducting the election either on the old or new system. The members of the Election Commission pointed out that legal provisions to change the election system should be drafted by the Ministry. Therefore, they said that the forthcoming provincial council election can be conducted according to the old system. They said that the election can be held under the new system in future after compiling necessary laws. The members further said the present election laws should be amended. They emphasized the need for a Parliament Select Committee in this regard. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that he has already made a request to the Speaker about the matter. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has worshipped at Bellanvilla Rajamaha Viharaya. The Prime Minister engaged in religious practices today at the temple. Thereafter, he called over on the chief prelate of the temple, Venerable Bellanvilla Dhammaratana Thero. The Prime Minister briefed him about the steps taken by the government to maintain civilian life in the wake of coronavirus pandemic. Head of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, says that the spread of coronavirus can still be controlled. However, he said that it needs the support of the public. During a media briefing in Colombo today, Dr. Samaravira said that people should limit their travel during the Christmas season and help control the spread of the virus. Jathika Janabala Vegaya MP Professor Harini Amarasuriya has emphasized the need to create an environment where women and children can live with security. She pointed out that more than 80,000 complaints on violence against women have been reported during the past decade. More than 60,000 complaints have been received on violence against children. During a media briefing in Colombo today, she said 1,871 boys have been imprisoned during the last year. She said that 62 girls have also been imprisoned during that period. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, the Ministry of Education says that the Ministry is gathering information on the trainees who followed courses at National Colleges of Education between 2016 and 2018 to recruit them as teachers. Additional Secretary to the Ministry, P.K. Subodhani, said that they are collecting information online. The details can be submitted to the website of the Ministry. She said that accepting information has been expended until the 17th of this month. She told SLBC that information on national schools with vacancies can be obtained through the website. An annually occurring meteor shower called Geminids meteor shower will be best seen from Sri Lanka this year on the night of the 13th of December. This is according to Professor Chandana Jayaratne, Professor in Physics and Director of Astronomy and Space Science Unit at the University of Colombo. He said that this meteor shower occurs every year on the same dates between 4th and 17th December, with peaks over 13th to 14th December. He further said this year, due to the absence of moonlight till early morning, one could see more meteors. Professor Chandana Jayaratne added if the sky is clear and dark, with no city light pollution, about 120 meters per hour will be visible. To end the local news, the headlines again. The Prime Minister informs members of the Election Commission to look into the possibility of conducting provincial council elections soon. Health authorities ask people to limit their travel during Christmas season to help control the spread of the virus. Jatika Janabala Vegaya emphasizes the need to create an environment where women and children can live with security. The Ministry of Education gathers information on the trainees who followed courses at National Colleges of Education. That ends the local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddha Lepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddha Lepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya.
On the main news story, the Ministry of Health says another 570 COVID patients have recovered and discharged from hospital within the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 22,831. Meanwhile, 538 new cases of the virus and 2 COVID-19 related deaths were reported within the last 24 hours. A total of 30,613 cases of coronavirus have been reported in Sri Lanka so far, while 7,636 of them are currently being treated at hospitals. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddha Lepa.
Moving on to Watch Light. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board stated that an 8-hour suspension of the water supply will be experienced in certain parts of Colombo. The water cut is set to commence at 11 p.m. tonight and will continue until 4 a.m. tomorrow. Accordingly, the water cut will be experienced in all by-roads, including Deans Road and Darley Road. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board also said water supply to Vauxhall Street, Vauxhall Lane, Ibbanwala Junction to Slave Island and Dr. Colvin R. De Silva Mawatha in Union Place and all connected by-roads will be under low pressure during this period. That ends Watch Light. Moving on to world news, the headlines. Germany braces for tougher lockdown before Christmas. Taiwan keeps restrictions despite vaccine. Boris Johnson says there is a strong possibility of no Brexit trade deal with EU. Germany will have to shut down more parts of society before Christmas to try to get the coronavirus pandemic under control, ministers said today, as Europe's largest economy reported a record number of daily infections and deaths. The government of the southwestern state of Baden-Württemberg said German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the premiers of the 16 federal states would meet on Sunday to discuss new measures to slow the spread of the virus. Authorities in Taiwan have warned that even as vaccinations begin, the world should remain extremely vigilant against the virus. Health Minister Shen Shih-chung said scientific data on the vaccine's lasting effect was still insufficient. He told the media during the first vaccination periods, people should continue with the safety measures. Taiwan has been one of the most successful places in the world in dealing with COVID-19. Boris Johnson says there is a strong possibility the UK will fail to strike a post-Brexit trade deal with the EU. Speaking for the first time since a crunch meeting in Brussels, the Prime Minister said now is the time for firms and people to prepare for a no-deal outcome. Talks continue between the two sides, but Mr. Johnson said they were not yet there at all in securing a deal. To end the world news, the headlines again. Germany braces for tougher lockdown before Christmas. Taiwan keeps restrictions despite vaccine. Boris Johnson says there is a strong possibility of no Brexit trade deal with the EU. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. The United States launched a new 3.6 billion rupee initiative to help small businesses and economically empower Sri Lankan women. The private sector development project, which is funded through the U.S. Agency for International Development, will provide technical assistance and financing to small businesses in the tourism, technology, and commercial care industries. The initiative will promote innovation and entrepreneurship and provide incentives for Sri Lankan financial institutions to support underserved communities in rural areas throughout the country. And on sports news, the 20th match of the Lanka Premier League, Colombo Kings vs Dambulla Vikings, will be played tonight in Hambantota. The match will begin at 8 p.m. today. Today is the first day of the second test of the West Indies tour of New Zealand in Wellington. Batting first, New Zealand was 294 for 6 wickets at stumps today. America's Cup holders team New Zealand were hoping to get some much-needed match racing under their belts on Friday, but were left to race alone after the 3 challenging syndicates withdrew from the official practice sessions. All 4 yachts have had a number of practice sessions this week to allow officials to test their systems ahead of a pre-Christmas regatta next week. World heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua said he is prepared to go to the final bell when he puts in WBA, IBF and WBO belts on the line against Bulgarian Kubrat Pulev tomorrow. Britain's Joshua will start as clear favourite in front of 1,000 fans at Wembley Arena for the fight that was postponed in June because of the COVID-19 pandemic. That ends the sports news. Up next is business news. Industries Minister Vimal Veeravansa said increasing local products to reduce the debt weight from exports to the country is a serious challenge. The minister said his aim is to create a group of entrepreneurs who can stand up to this challenge. Minister Veeravansa made his observation participating as the chief guest at the Graduate Entrepreneur Udanaya program to provide financial grants to 146 graduate entrepreneurs born from the university system. The event was organized by the National Entrepreneurship Development Authority. That ends business news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on economic news, the Angel Fund, the first of its kind in Sri Lanka, has shortlisted its 5 early-stage startups for potential investment. Niftron, Tracula, Medica, Solborner Clothing and Ophir. This follows an intense application and selection process spanning September, October and November 2020. The Angel Fund, launched earlier this year by the Lankan Angel Network, was established with the support of ecosystem development partner Ford Foundation to catalyze the growth of Sri Lanka's startup ecosystems. That ends the economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally on the weather report, The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur tomorrow at few places in Sabaragamu provinces and in Kalutara, Gaul and Mathura districts, in the evening or at night. Light showers are likely in Batiklo, Ampara and Hambantota districts in the morning too. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. That ends the weather report. And to end this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister informs members of the Election Commission to look into the possibility of conducting provincial council elections soon. Health authorities ask people to limit their travel during the Christmas season to help control the spread of the virus. Jatika Janabalavega emphasizes the need to create an environment where women and children can live with security. The Ministry of Education gathers information on the trainees who followed courses at National Colleges of Education. On foreign news, Germany braces for tougher lockdown before Christmas. In sports, the 20th match of the Lanka Premier League, Colombo Kings vs Dambulla Vikings, will be played tonight in Hambantota. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.